What's up, y'all? What's poppin'? It's D. About to react to this vid by Wavy Web Surf. This is the most disturbing confessions on YouTube. Okay, let's see what these crazy people on YouTube have confessed to. Let's watch.
Folks on YouTube have been exposed for all sorts of things. Alleged cryptocurrency scams, cheating in Minecraft, child abuse, being a predator, you name it. Ooh. There's literally thousands of examples of popular exposed videos airing out another's dirty laundry on this platform. Damn. But what's far more rare and infinitely more compelling are YouTube's confession videos. Cases where online figures or YouTubers have outright confessed in their own words to scandalous behavior or alleged criminal activity. Today we'll be looking at the confessions of various notable online figures that have wound up on YouTube. From a self-described virgin with rage allegedly confessing to incest, to a beloved online comedian revealing his disturbing sexual fantasies during a child predator sting, these are some of YouTube's most scandalous confessions.
My name is Walter Hartwell White. I live at 308 Negra Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87104. This is my confession.
Today's video is sponsored by Aura.
Y'all go for it.
This ain't got a thing to do with allegations and all this. This has everything to do with pure jealousy.
Our first story just might be the most scandalous caught in 4K moment in the history of YouTube. It's the absolutely mind-melting story of then-beloved YouTuber EDP445 coming face-to-face with a group of child predator hunters. The live-streamed confrontation essentially serving as a confession that revealed disturbing and career-ending secrets kept hidden by the comedian. Brian Moreland, known online as Eat That Pussy 445 or EDP445, really needs no introduction. Thanks to the success of various viral clips published to his YouTube channel, Brian's presence on the internet in the last decade has been inescapable. I said he needed no introduction, and here I am giving an introduction. Well, I already started, might as well keep going. EDP was primarily known as being a Philadelphia Eagles superfan that would often go on vulgarity-laden rants every time the team lost.
What the fuck? You got me fucking kidding me!
And he was also known for his signature brand of self-deprecating comedy, where he often joked about his weight or explained his masturbatory habits in grotesque, hyperbolic detail.
I beat my dick so goddamn hard that I can't even feel my left leg. My left leg has went totally numb.
While most knew EDP for his viral comedy videos, he did have a hardcore sect of fans that tuned in for the more personal side of Bryant. Bryant often candidly shared videos to his channel explaining personal struggles in life, from loneliness to stress at work to various family drama.
5 years ago, I received the news that my mom had died. You know, she wouldn't be around to see me get my first car, my first girlfriend, my first kiss.
EDP appeared to be an open book and would share his personal life frequently with fans. And in a sea of YouTubers who stick to the script and just try to remain as ad-friendly as possible, EDP stood out. He had the rare gift of being able to connect with his audience on a personal level. Viewers related to him and appreciated his candid personality and keeping it real attitude. Considered by some as one of the funniest and realest YouTubers on the platform, EDP enjoyed great success, eventually passing the 1 million subscriber milestone to great fanfare and was revered within the YouTube community by his creative peers. But in time, cracks would begin to show in EDP445's online persona. It all started in early 2020 when EDP uploaded an eyebrow-raising video titled "Good Luck Exposing My Ass." In this now-deleted video, a visibly frustrated EDP goes on a expletive-laden rant, in a roundabout way suggesting that he had sent flirtatious messages to a girl on Instagram, only to later find out that the girl was 15 years old. He says that a small group of people knew about this interaction and were plotting to cancel him.
And I see this one chick, right, Hispanic chick, right, and then later on, come to find out, this was 15 years old. Oh, EDP is exposed. Oh, your fans ain't gonna like you no more. Oh, EDP is exposed. As a woman, when you wear clothes like that, let's be real, you're trying to get attention from guys. Oh man, we're going to expose EDP. You can't expose me. And guess what? I don't give a f.
Knowing what we know now about EDP, this video was an obvious red flag. But at the time of its release, few considered the video to be problematic and thought the 30-year-old's engagement with the 15-year-old on Instagram to be an honest mistake.
Because he had a lot of incels following him, that's why. They're like, yeah, you are right. That 15-year-old bitch, that was her fault. It was her fault for wearing that dress. You should have thought she was 25. You're right. Like, what are we talking about?
But then more evidence of creepy EDP behavior just kept bubbling up, such as the following voice recording allegedly sent by EDP to an underage girl who was asking for a birthday shout-out to give to her boyfriend.
Lucy, you better show me some titties. You want me to wish that nigga happy birthday? You better show me some titties or something there. Oh my God, EDP, like she's 14, like she's 15. I don't give a nigga if the bitch is 1. Ain't shit free in this motherfucker.
Additionally, a disturbing screenshot allegedly showing a conversation between Bryant and an anonymous 17-year-old girl would surface. Big Playboy 445 says, "You're cute and stuff, just worried this might be a fake profile." The supposed 17-year-old girl says, "No, I keep it 100. That's for kids. We can just be with each other." Big Playboy responds threateningly, "If you fuck me over and I find this convo someplace on the internet like Twitter or even in a YouTube video, I swear on my mom's soul I'll find your ass. Don't think for 1 second just because you're hiding behind a damn phone you can't be found." As more evidence was brought to the table, a small yet vocal minority of fans would start accusing EDP of being a predator in his comment section, and they would jump ship from the channel. Some smaller YouTubers even began discussing EDP's creepy behavior. Take, for example, OG Cold Raven, who would make a multi-part video series attempting to expose EDP. Whisperings of these allegations slowly began making their way around the community.
Dodging the allegations once again, are we? I exposed you for texting 5 different underage girls. I exposed the fact that you fell for a decoy asking for illicit pictures. They said they were 16, just turned 17 inside of the combo. You're just lucky that no big channel has really picked up on it. People are gonna want to know what's happening, and you're finally gonna get exposed for the sick pedophile that you are.
The rising scrutiny would prompt EDP to make another video addressing these allegations. And in the video, he essentially uses the argument of, "Hey guys, you know me, EDP445. I would never do anything like this. I would never do anything creepy."
If you honestly believe that I'm a pet, you're high.
That makes sense to me.
Despite the objectively dog shit defense presented in this video, the majority of EDP's loyal fan base were satiated by his denials, and the man continued to enjoy a prosperous career for some time, eventually passing the 2 million subscriber milestone sometime around the new year. But in 2021, things were different, as in April of this year, evidence would come forward that would turn the entire internet on its head, exposing EDP445 for the sick and disgusting individual that he truly was.
I've watched a few videos on him, and I didn't know some of this stuff.
On April 19th, the Predator Poachers, a YouTube-based child predator catching group, would boot up a live stream. In this live stream, a member of the group would explain that their organization had created a decoy account on Instagram posing as a 13-year-old girl named Sophie. The Poachers alleged that EDP had been interacting with the account over a 2-month period. What follows is a nearly 2-hour-long live stream of the host reading the disgusting messages allegedly sent by EDP445 to someone he thought was a 13-year-old girl. After a grueling 2-hour trudge through these disturbing messages, the chat logs appear to end with EDP and the decoy arranging a meetup at an apartment complex. The live stream's host would then reveal that this meetup actually happens, and the Predator Poachers confronted EDP at the apartment complex and caught it all on camera. The following day, the damning footage would be released to the internet. His predatory behavior could be denied no longer. During the confrontation, he confessed to everything.
So what brings you out here today? Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
The only thing deterring you, based on these messages, it wasn't the fact she was young. It was jail time that was deterring you, yes or no? Okay, right. Like if the cops saw these messages and saw you here, would they have arrested you, yes or no? Okay.
See, you think you deserve to go to jail? I'm being honest with you. You don't think so? I think so. You think so?
Okay. Hey, bro, you want to call the cops?
Please don't, man.
Why not?
How about you call the cops?
You call the cops. You want help? Call the cops.
You should call the cops. Go ahead.
Yeah, people knew EDP was a creep, but they didn't know that it was this deep. And an exposed caught in 4K moment of this caliber had never once before been witnessed on YouTube. The video of this nearly hour-long sting operation spread around the internet like wildfire. It got so big that even mainstream media outlets were discussing it. In the wake of the sting, EDP would essentially go into hiding, and folks were waiting on the edge of their seat hoping that he would be arrested. However, that arrest would never happen. Despite police being called to the scene of the sting and being bombarded with calls from the internet and EDP's clear admissions here, no formal investigation was ever opened on EDP445. The reason for EDP evading charges is still a bit of a mystery to this day, but many have boiled it down to being incompetence by the Predator Poachers. Some speculate that the methods used to acquire EDP's confession by the Poachers was considered entrapment, and their evidence inadmissible in a court case. I'm admittedly no expert on this subject, but I've seen plenty of commentary suggesting that if the Poachers had actually notified police before their sting, EDP would very likely be in jail right now. If you have some insight regarding this, drop a comment below. Whatever the case, this incident and the publicity surrounding it would end the EDP's career overnight. He went from being beloved by millions to detested by virtually everyone on the internet. In the wake of being exposed, EDP's YouTube channel was terminated, and his Facebook and Instagram accounts were banned. The only real existence EDP has on the internet is in the form of a website created earlier this year. The site offers pay-to-watch stream content and Cameo-like shout-out services, but for all intents and purposes, the man's ability to monetize himself online has been eliminated as a result of his own disgusting behavior. In what might be one of the most infamous YouTuber expose/confession moments in the history of the platform, that was the story of EDP 445.
Yeah.
I killed a man.
Wait, who? What?
I was out with some friends. We were all drinking really heavily. Just hopping from bar to bar. Just trying to have a good time, and I lost control.
Our next story involves a man who is responsible for a deadly crime. After committing this crime, he uploaded a shockingly candid video to YouTube, confessing to his wrongdoings in front of millions of people. This seemingly unprompted confession would lead to him becoming imprisoned sometime later. So what's the story with that? Let's get into it. This story begins on the night of June 22nd in 2013 in Columbus, Ohio. 61-year-old Vincent Canzani, a locally renowned photographer, is driving on Interstate 670. While peacefully cruising along, Vincent Canzani sees the last thing anyone wants to see while driving down the interstate: a pair of headlights on his side of the road speeding directly towards him. Moments later, this wrong-way driver collides head-on with Vincent Canzani, resulting in a horrifically violent collision. Both vehicles essentially turned into heaps of scrap metal. Motorists that witnessed the crash immediately dialed 911. When responders arrived and had eyes on the scene, they likely expected there to be no survivors. But after rescue efforts, they discovered that the man who was driving the wrong-way vehicle was actually still alive. This man would be identified as local resident 22-year-old Matthew Cordell. Cordell was promptly taken to the hospital to receive emergency care for lacerations suffered during the crash. Vincent Canzani, the apparent victim in the collision, wasn't so lucky, as after an inspection of his vehicle, Canzani was pronounced dead at the scene. Considering the nature of this collision, police immediately suspected Matthew Cordell of driving under the influence. They would later acquire a search warrant in order to collect medical information from Cordell's hospital visit. This would result in police getting a medical update from staff who described Matthew Cordell as, quote, very drunk. Blood tests would confirm these anecdotal accounts. In the wake of this apparent deadly DUI collision, Matthew Cordell was treated and released from the hospital a free man. But yeah, surprisingly, charges were not immediately pressed on Matthew Cordell for this. He actually got the walk. In the meantime, Matthew Cordell would lawyer up and prepare for the inevitable charges coming his way. Now, what you usually see in a situation like this, where a guy is potentially about to face charges, it's expected that the individual would lay low, keep their mouth shut, and avoid the media at all costs, as to not accidentally give any potential damning evidence to the prosecution. I mean, you got to think about this from a self-preservation perspective. But what makes this case remarkable is that Matthew Cordell pretty much does the opposite of what I just described. He confesses to his crime publicly in a way that had never before been seen. He confesses directly to the internet. On September 3rd of 2013, a video would be uploaded to a YouTube channel called Because I Said I Would. The channel was managed by a nonprofit organization of the same name. The video is called I Killed a Man, and it featured Matthew Cordell essentially outright confessing that he indeed was driving under the influence and his actions resulted in the death of Vincent Canzani.
I was out with some friends. We were all drinking really heavily. Just hopping from bar to bar. Just trying to have a good time.
Maybe he felt so guilty and just consumed with all this regret that he's like, I don't even care. I'm going to just say I did it. I mean, I already knew you did it, but I'm going to confess and I'm going to give you all the details and say, yes, I was drinking. Yes, you know, like, maybe he didn't care. He didn't care that he was going to jail. That's the only explanation, because this is stupid.
On that particular night, I made a mistake and got in my truck. Completely blacked out and decided to try to drive home. I ended up going the wrong way down the highway, directly into oncoming traffic, and I struck a car. I killed a man.
The video almost immediately went viral and prompted discussion across the internet and the mainstream media. Cordell's confession was received well by the internet masses, with thousands of folks praising him in the comment section for taking responsibility for his crime. On the other hand, some suspected that this melodramatically edited confession video featuring swelling orchestral music was simply a disingenuous ploy for Matthew Cordell to possibly get a lighter sentence if ever convicted. The family of Vincent Canzani would express a similar sentiment and felt as if the video confession had selfish motivations behind it.
My name is Matthew Cordell. And on June 22nd, 2013, I hit and killed Vincent Canzani. This video will act as my confession. When I get charged, I will plead guilty and take full responsibility for everything I've done to Vincent and his family.
I mean,
whatever the case,
I don't
7
think you
days
get any
after the
brownie
release
points
of
for
Matthew
that.
Cordell's confession video
So people
on
in the
September
comments
9th,
praising
Cordell
him,
was indicted
y'all
by
stupid.
grand jury and promptly turned himself.
If that was y'all daddy that he killed, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, you're so brave for taking accountability. This is so awesome. Like, you wouldn't be doing that. He killed somebody because he was very irresponsible. So I don't think you get no brownie points for admitting that. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you going to jail. Like, the fuck?
Been to police, prepared to face justice. Matthew Cordell was charged with aggravated vehicular homicide and 1 count of operating a vehicle under the influence. Charges that could result in a 2-year prison sentence at the least and 8.5 years at the most. In line with the narrative presented in his confession video, Matthew would plead guilty to these crimes. And just over a month later, on October 23rd of 2013, Matthew Cordell was sentenced to serve 6.5 years in state prison. While in prison, Matthew would do his best to advocate against drunk driving, and he was known to receive and send out a lot of mail from people going through their own issues. On at least one occasion, Matthew was given the opportunity to be recorded while in prison, where he would issue a warning to those thinking they could get away with drunk driving.
You know, my hope is that everyone can make the promise not to drink and drive, not to make destructive decisions that could affect others negatively. But if you're not at that point yet, and if you are struggling, make the promise to seek help. Make the promise to reach out and ask for someone's hand.
In October of 2019, just over 6 years since the date of his confession, Matthew Cordell was released from prison. He now lives out his life as a semi-private citizen and advocate against drunk driving. Matthew's YouTube confession was remarkable for many reasons. Nothing like it had ever been done before. I personally have mixed emotions regarding this entire situation, and I can empathize with the scrutiny that the family of Vincent Canzani, sort of expressed regarding the intentions of Matthew's confession video. While many have praised Matthew Cordell for coming forward, it's difficult to really say exactly how much he actually stuck his neck out by doing this confession. After all, prosecutors likely already had everything they needed to arrest and charge Matthew, confession or not. And that being said, sort of now being charitable to Matthew here, the actual benefit of Cordell making the confession in and of itself...
It's not like they couldn't find him and they didn't know who he was and he came out and said, hey, that was me. And they're like, oh shit, we was looking for somebody, it was you. No, they already knew who he was. So I'm trying to understand at what point is he being so heroic. I don't understand it.
Is debatable. And generally speaking, when you're suspected of a crime, opening your mouth is rarely a good thing and almost always makes your legal situation worse than it was before. And considering that his sentence was on the higher end, I really don't know how much the confession actually helped if getting a lighter sentence was his goal here. Regardless, the Cordell case is easily one of the most remarkable confessions that we've seen in YouTube history.
Matthew's 6.5 year sentence. What was your reaction?
My initial reaction was relief. Just relief that my family will get some closure. Hopefully the victim's family will have some measure of closure and begin the healing process and start to move forward. And myself as well, I can start to move forward now.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
Our next story is a confession that comes from a YouTuber who's been in the YouTube gaming scene practically since its inception. Darkside Phil, DSP. Phil's online infamy is a video in and of itself, but today I'll be honing in on a particularly embarrassing chapter of the Darkside Phil saga.
Like
it involves an intimate moment that was unintentionally live-streamed to hundreds of viewers, and Phil having to eat crow and confess that it actually happened. For those unfamiliar with DSP, the Cliff Notes version of his online career is this. Phil is a 40-year-old gaming creator who joined YouTube back in 2007. A pioneer of the Let's Play genre, Phil would record his gameplay by pointing a camera at his monitor and provide off-the-cuff commentary.
Oh, you mean the balls, dude. What the hell's going on? What the fuck is this? This is all... Oh my god, we're scissoring! Oh, we're scissoring! Oh my god!
Phil would become one of the most popular gaming figures on YouTube in the late 2000s, and at one point even landed a lucrative machinima contract. But due to his own incompetence and inability to adapt to YouTube's ever-changing trends and quality standards, Phil's relevance peaked in 2011, and his career has essentially been circling the drain ever since. On top of ever-dwindling viewership, Phil has long been plagued by damaging controversies. Be it accusations of Phil milking his fans for money, just various criticisms of his quality of content, and just self-inflicted drama caused by his own toxicity, if you will.
Why am I poisoned? Why am I toxic?
But Phil is often frequented by more innocuous controversies. Situations that don't necessarily malign his character, they more so just make him look like a complete fool. And one such event transpired on May 1st of 2016. On this day, Phil would go live on YouTube. This broadcast begins with a pre-stream lobby of sorts, with a standby message being shown on screen. The message informing viewers that the stream would be starting soon. However, what Phil failed to realize is that this standby message wasn't the only thing being shown to viewers. Believing that viewers were only seeing this standby screen and not his camera, for the next 13 minutes, folks got to see exactly what Darkside Phil does when he thinks no one is watching. The first several minutes of this pre-stream lobby seem harmless enough, with Phil apparently browsing the internet. But it's when Phil lays back in his chair that things start to get weird. He begins shaking his arms, almost as if he's stroking something, making bizarre facial expressions, and seemed intently focused on his computer screen.
Ew. Ew. I don't need to see this.
Yeah, by now you're probably starting to understand.
Fuck that! I'm blurring that up. Cause I don't want to disturb y'all. If you want to look it up yourself, you can. I will put the link to this video in the description down below. But it was not a pleasant sight.
What's happening here? After going at it for what comes close to 10 minutes,
Ew.
Phil makes a shocking realization.
What is up, everyone? Hello, and welcome. Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
While he was momentarily frazzled, Phil would continue on streaming as if nothing happened. And after receiving dozens of comments from stunned viewers in his chat accusing him of jacking it on stream, he attempted to minimize and deny the accusation. But Phil couldn't just sweep this under the rug, and this questionable live-streamed moment was spread around Twitter and YouTube almost immediately. Phil's apparent live-stream gaffe of the decade was going absolutely viral.
And all of a sudden, my Twitter starts blowing up on my phone, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I look down, and I look at the tweets, and people were sending me, hey, Rich, DSP Gaming got caught jerking off on live stream. He didn't realize his camera was on before he started live streaming, and he decided to rub one out, and everyone saw. There was like 100 people in the stream, and they all watched him jerk off.
Part of what had contributed to Phil's online infamy at this stage in his career stemmed from a series of mishandled controversies. Now face to face with yet another controversy, many expected Phil to fumble this scandal like the scandals he fumbled in the past. It was expected that Phil would boot up a live stream, deny everything, and basically tell the viewers they didn't see what they saw with their own two eyes. But in an uncharacteristically savvy PR move from Darkside Phil, the day after this clip went viral, Phil would boot up a live stream in which he essentially confesses that he was indeed choking the chicken, taking the embarrassing moment on the chin and even laughing along with his detractors.
Because of a mishap yesterday, I have seen tons of attention thrown my way. It happens. I think that I've handled it pretty well. In the past, I have been known as a person who unfortunately kind of takes things way too seriously. And when shit happens, instead of kind of rolling with it, I get pissed off. And you know what? That's not the way to handle stuff. I'm certainly not going to
I agree with that.
Hold it against anyone for joking about something that happened that was completely hilarious in my opinion. I mean, I'll be honest, at first I was incredibly embarrassed, but after the initial shock of knowing what happened, I cannot stop laughing about it. I don't know about anyone else. A lot of people are like appalled. Oh my God! Come on. Yes, because we all know that, you know, it's such an unnatural thing. It's such a horrible, horrendous action.
Yeah, I don't think this is that bad. I mean, everybody does it, so it's like, all right. But yeah, you should have made sure your shit wasn't on, because nobody wants to see that. That was disturbing.
Then again, everyone who's done it probably did it during the live streaming.
While I personally find it absolutely fucking insane that someone can just casually go from jacking it to live streaming in a matter of seconds, at the end of the day, Phil's live streaming gaffe was nothing but just some kind of humorous internet degeneracy. The scandal serving as one of the most disturbing yet funniest drama moments of 2016. Phil's live-streamed pleasure session would be forgotten in time, and his career continues its perpetual downslope. Probably one of the more humorous confessions that we've seen on YouTube, that was the time that DSP got caught with his pants down.
Literally.
Tell me why I'm stuck as a virgin with rage. Tell me why I so need a cute girl my age.
Well, here we are, the final chapter, and it's about Chris Chan.
No. My mother!
I don't know who this is.
Wait. Chris Chan is a name known far and wide across the web. Quite possibly the most documented person in internet history, the story of Chris Chandler, now transgender woman Christine Chandler, is one that would literally take days to tell. The autistic Sonichu creator has been closely followed by an army of online trolls for close to 15 years now. Every degenerate action taken by Chris documented, cataloged, and scrutinized to exhaustion.
I want everything about my house off the internet! I'll send in detectives, I'll send in police, I'll send in everything in my power to get it off the internet! Listen to me. Listen to me. Yes. Shut that goddamn thing off.
From drinking their own sperm, to assaulting a GameStop employee, to putting their father's beloved stamp collection on eBay, to the harassment of women, racism, homophobia, and constant e-begging, there's been a plethora of questionable acts committed by Christine, documented by trolls over the years. But today I'll be foregoing coverage of every small Chris Chan plot point and be honing in on a particularly heinous, vile, and disgusting act allegedly committed by Christine Chandler. It's an ongoing situation and vomit-inducing story involving a leaked phone call in which Christine appears to confess to sexually assaulting their 79-year-old mother.
What?
While early trolling of Christine mostly involved mockery of the self-authored Sonichu comics, what has proved to be the long-term hook for internet trolls is Christine Chandler's seemingly endless quest to find a, quote, boyfriend-free girl. The Chris Chan love quest, if you will. For over a decade now, Christine has tried to find a sexual partner, failing time and time again, be it by intervention of internet trolls or just Christine's disgusting nature keeping girls at an arm's length. I mean, we're talking about someone who keeps containers of their own semen in a freezer here, guys. Christine has described themselves in the past as a, quote, virgin with rage, and their only sexual experience was allegedly with a prostitute in 2012. Well, that's not the only alleged sexual experience Christine has had. This is Barbara Chandler, Christine's widowed mother. Currently 79 years old and rumored to suffer from dementia, Barb has appeared in several videos on Christine's YouTube channel over the years. In almost every appearance, Barbara appears confused and seems to be coached by Christine to ask viewers for money.
My name is Barbara Chandler. I'm asking you to help us with car payment by buying the blankets. They're nice, they're in perfect shape, they'll make a good addition to your home.
The video's giving off an uncomfortable and exploitative vibe.
Very uncomfortable.
My name is Barbara Chandler.
Oh, this is creepy.
What do you want to know?
Ask questions in the comments below or wherever to my associates, yada yada. And come on, say something else.
This whole story is creepy. I'm not saying she's creepy.
Many have made allegations of elder abuse towards Christine, but outside of these uncomfortable videos and a handful of suspect tweets, little tangible proof of abuse has ever surfaced.
Ew.
That was until July 30th of 2021, when a disturbing phone call was leaked to the internet implicating Christine of committing one of the most disgusting crimes imaginable. While the exact details of how this call was acquired remain unclear, it was allegedly recorded by a Chris Chan troll of dubious nature known online as Bella. Members of the Kiwi Farms message board alleged that Bella had been engaging in bad faith interactions with Christine behind the scenes for some time, appearing to Christine as a trustworthy confidant, then socially manipulating Christine into making this confession. And what exactly was this confession? In this phone call, Christine claims to have an ongoing sexual relationship with her allegedly demented mother. Christine confesses to regularly having sex with Barb.
But how did this happen? How did this come about?
Well, on which just mainly I was really, really horny and I need the true and honest relationship to come about. So obviously this was one of the best ways to do it, despite anything with the internet. I don't want to labels at all, but I mean, obviously, you know, incest fanfics that come through and shit.
I didn't have any idea that Barbara was that Barbara and you had that sort of relationship. I never got any of those vibes. But how did you approach her?
I approached her with care and caution. It was a time approach, so I just gave her comfort to talk with her, and we just branched out slow and steady, and then I encouraged her positively, let her make the first move.
Ew!
Oh, she did? Really? She made the first move?
Yeah.
And how did she respond when you approached her? What did she say?
I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was I think she was partially confused at one point, but then she came around, obviously, the more approaching than I was doing with her along the way.
When did you start having feelings for Barbara?
Well, for a long time. I mean, I remember even mentioning some time ago on the videos that I even had dreams where I had sex with her, obviously.
Really?
So,
yeah. How, if you don't mind me asking? I know that's probably a person you have to answer, but how is the sex?
I'd say it was satisfactory. It took a while. It took a few tries to...
It took a few tries, yeah. She's older.
It was also, she's very understanding about the whole thing as well. I was direct with her, still direct ties with her. I made sure that obviously, I'm never going to propose marriage to her at all because we're already daughter.
Yeah, mother and daughter. How long have you two been going at it?
We've been doing it every third night, and the first night being on June 27th.
Oh, you have a routine?
It took us a few nights to figure out what made what feel right and what didn't feel right. And
does your mother enjoy it?
She's having a good time, though.
She is? She's having a good time?
Yeah, especially what we figured out.
Once this damning confession was leaked to the internet, it went viral immediately and was being discussed on all corners of the internet, from Twitter to 4chan, Reddit to Facebook to Kiwi Farms and even to mainstream media. Folks knew Christine was a person of low moral standing, but nobody thought they were capable of something like this. In the wake of the leaked confession, people from around the world flooded the Greene County, Virginia Sheriff's Office with phone calls regarding Christine Chandler, informing them of the alleged incest and elder abuse. Taking these calls seriously, a protective order would be issued against Christine, which compelled Christine to leave the Chandler residence, and for the time being, they would stay at a hotel. While the protective order was issued, Christine was still free, but this freedom wouldn't last long. Just 2 days after the July 30th confession leak, on August 1st, Christine was arrested at a Regency motel and charged with 1 count of incest with additional charges pending. The arrest was captured and live-streamed by internet talk show host and provocateur Ethan Ralph.
And I continue to stand strong and I maintain everything with crypto and my psychics, coaches, and everybody.
Yeah, you're live to about 3,000 people right now, Christian. You're taking everything in strikes and you're doing good?
Yeah, I keep a good faith. Everything is going to work out.
Doing good, feeling good?
It's happening now on the merge.
The merge? It's happening right now, isn't it?
Right now, it is.
We're living it.
It's happening right now.
Very well, Christian.
The merge is happening right now. August 1st.
Well, there goes Christian into the Henrico County.
Ever since the hotel arrest, Christine Weston Chandler has been in between jail and psychiatric institutions. It isn't exactly clear when or if Christine will go to trial.
No, leave her in there.
Still ongoing, and many have
leave her in there
speculated
forever.
that Christine could possibly get additional sexual assault charges, as if Barbara does indeed have dementia, she wouldn't be able to consent to the sex. But regardless, what has become clear in recent months is that even behind bars, Christine is still able to embarrass themselves and come across as batshit insane. Since being incarcerated, Christine has sent out several letters to confidants on the outside. Some of these letters have been published to the internet. In letters, Christine presents themselves as a Christ-like figure, and in one disturbing example, Christine states, quote, "I am literally Jesus Christ himself, fully reincarnated and fully reawakened." And Christine goes on to suggest that God had called upon her to touch Barbara and heal and cleanse her of her past sins. God, man. It's just a saga that never ends. Now, I will say this regarding the alleged incest. Christine is historically known for making up stories and fabricating tall tales, and one can only pray that Christine's infamous incest confession was a delusional account of some deranged fantasy and not something that Christine actually acted on. But there's been so much circumstantial evidence supporting the confession and judicial inquiry into the matter that I fear that Christine actually did the repulsive act that was confessed in that call. And if that truly is the case, may Christine rot. And what might be the most disgusting confession seen on the internet and technically YouTube, that was the leaked Christine Chandler incest call. But that was my compendium of confessions.
Ew! That is fucking disgusting. You burn in hell, bitch. That is so fucked up, and this woman looked so out of it. She didn't know what the fuck was going on, and you up there. And she's an elderly woman on top of that. Like, I mean, yes, it's disgusting enough that it's your own mama, but it's like, even to take it a step further, like, what? This is the biggest incel energy I've ever seen in my fucking life. This was sad. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!